Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. Okay, so Eric finds out about Holt's firing and he's not happy. And, he's worried about Brooke and how upset she's going to be. And part of me, see, here's the thing. I get that Brooke and Eric go way back, and I think they have a child together. I'm not too sure. Anyway, they go way back. So he's concerned about Brooke and her feelings. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but part of me is just like, what does her feelings have anything to do with business? Because at the end of the day, the way I look at it, what Hope did wasn't just disrespectful to her marriage, right? Like the first time that it happened, and Steppy was like, I should have fired her right then and there. How? This didn't happen on company time. This happened off, you know what I'm saying? Like this happened outside of the workplace. So I know it's a soap opera and they tend to play fast and loose when it comes towards laws and stuff like that. So the first time I'm just like, you really couldn't have fired her because she didn't do anything on um, business time. But what she did then and there, that was grounds for misconduct. That's grounds for firing. Any place you work at, you do something like that, your ass can easily be fired. So regardless of Brooke's feelings and everything like that, like at the end of the day, her feelings don't matter. And it's not because I don't like Brooke or anything like that. Her feelings generally just does not matter. Brooke's feelings doesn't matter. Kay's feelings doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is a business decision. And so Eric is like, when Stephanie's like, listen, I'm not going to let her sit there and continue to disrespect my marriage. I'm not going to let her do that. That's absolutely insane. And Erica's like, yeah, I get that. Okay, you have every right to sit there and defend your marriage and everything like that and defend yourself. But I still don't like it. I still don't think it's right. And I'm like, what does that even mean? Because I feel like, at this point, he's very wishy washy. You want to sit there and say, well, I get where she's coming from, but I don't like it. It's either one or the other. And yes, I'm a person that generally tries to see both sides, but at the end of the day, when it comes towards business, you have to pick a side. And this isn't personal. This is business. So yes, Eric is not there looking at this and being like, from a PR standpoint, it's going to look like it's personal. But Eric also basically said that we don't have to sit there and answer the shareholders, right? So you made a decision. It's a family company. It is what it is. And Rich backs her, as he should. Um, Carter and Hope. There's not really much to say about that, except for the fact that Carter's like, hey, listen, I'm going to sit there and try to talk to Rich today. I'm going to get him to change his mind, and, you'll be back where you belong. And Hope is very happy about that. But I do sit there and I look at this, and I go back to her comment of, I'm not even sure if I want to be there. And why would you want to sit there and be in a hostile work environment? Oh, on top of that, let's just go back to Steffi and Rich for a minute. Rich was like, yo, listen, her line was already on life support, as it was. So basically, he's not there saying what I'm saying. She would have got fired sooner or later. It doesn't matter at this point. She would have gotten fired. Her line would have gone. Thanos, whatever you want to sit there and call it. So while Brooke is not there talking about, well, it was on an upswing. It was like it was on a downswing for a while. But I'll get to Brooke and the nonsense that she was putting out in a minute. So Carter goes to Rich and Steffi. He voices his concerns again. He's he starts to voice his concerns again. And Stephanie this time is like, I don't know what's going on with this random support of Steffi. I mean, of Hope. What does she say? But she makes it very clear. You need to be careful. You need to sit there and be careful and watch yourself. And more importantly, what she didn't sit there and say was, know your place. And this is when Carter's like, does my opinion not really count for anything? You know, I like to sit there and think that I can speak my opinion even if it's against y'all. But then he decides to sit there and take it extra. And he's like, your personal decisions. You say you're making a person. You say making personal decisions shows a lapse in judgment and a lapse in leadership. And when he said that, she just had this. This was the oh hell to the no. You did not just say that to me. Now, mind you, she just sat there and said 30 seconds before, watch how you move. It's pretty much like be very careful of the next words that you're going to sit there and use. Carter was just like, yeah, I don't give enough at this point. Now, this scene with Electra and Will and the petty ass models. Ugh. I've said this before, I'll say this again. Will and Electra is like the second coming or just another iteration of RJ and Luna when they first started. The models come in and all like, oh, I want to sit there and take, how about you sit there and come over and we'll all hang out and everything. And then when Electra comes in and, Will starts talking about her and everything, one of the models decides to say some petty dig at her talking about, well, everyone has to start somewhere. And I'm just like, so let me get this straight. Which, again, this scene, I just didn't like for so many different reasons. But you look at women like that. And women like that, with those type of personas, just come across as petty, mean high school girls who never got over their personas of being the mean girls. And so it just comes across as very petty and bitchy and just like, I'm not really enjoying this. Like I'm not really enjoying this at all. And I'm like, just to be petty back a little bit, I'm kind of like, y'all are pretty at best. Like, you might want to sit there and kind of take down that energy. Y'all ain't all that, okay? And Will can kind of do better than y'all if we're gonna be honest. So you making these little digs at the other intern just seems so unnecessary. So after they leave, Electra's like, yeah, clearly they don't like me. Will's like, I don't give a damn about them. So he tries to get to know her and everything like that, and I don't even think she actually said much of anything as far as her background or anything like that. She makes a comment about nepotism, but then Will's like, it's cool, like, my mom works here at PR, it is what it is. But I had to sit there and say about that because I was just like, other than that, the scene didn't really. You could have fast forwarded and it wouldn't have really mattered. It's kind of like a speed bump at best. Now, Brooke is doing her usual whining, complaining, and talking about my daughter didn't deserve to be fired. Yes, she did. Or misconduct. I don't really understand. I mean, the thing is, I get that Brooke knows the truth, right? But the thing is, she keeps saying that he didn't deserve that. Well, I mean, you know the legit reason of why, you know? So it's like her saying that over and over and over again just sounds like a broken record. And, people feel bad for Zenda because he was the lead designer of Hopes for the Future. It's not like he's going to be without a job or anything like that, but still, that was kind of like his thing right there he was doing. So, that sucked for him. Katie's not really too happy about it. They keep seeming to talk about the misunderstanding and everything, but no one is willing to sit there and speak on the truth. And that's the biggest problem that I have right now. Brooke whines and complains about this because, yes, I guess she knows the truth, but if you're not going to say anything, then it is what it is. And all the whining and tears and everything like that is not going to mean a damn thing if you don't sit there and tell the truth. And hell, let's be honest, even if you did tell the truth, which you probably should at this point, who the hell sits there and thinks it's really not, it's going to make that much of an impact? Like Hope did sit there and say it may make things worse, not just for Hope at this point, but for Carter. So, like, you're kind of just stuck where you are. And then Hope comes in there. Hope's like, I feel bad for Zende and everything like that. And I mean, it just gets to a point where it's like it's a fun show, but maybe because I tend to overthink things, that I'm kind of just like shit can kind of be exhausting. It could really be exhausting. Now, I know a lot of people sitting there saying that they need to start their own fashion line and the story could be like this and it could be like that. I mean, the point is, at the end of the day, if you're getting fired or you are constantly sitting there dealing with a toxic work environment when your boss is constantly threatening you left and right, they already don't like you, it seems like they don't really want to give you that out support. Why the hell are you even sitting there bothering to tell Zende, well, Carter needs to think get back my job? So you can do what? So you can do what? What are you going to do when you get back there? What's going to change? Because Steffi's still going to be Steffi. Steffi's still going to be co-CEO. So she's still going to sit there and constantly have that sword at your head all the time. Who the hell wants to sit there and work in a toxic work environment? It's not like you can't sit there and go anywhere else and do something there. And I understand the idea of giving up and how much that sucks, but sometimes it's better for you to sit there and leave a place for your own mental sanity. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. If I missed anything, write it in the comment section below. I want to thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.